Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have another tutorial for you, and this time on this really nice and soft smoky eyes using a little bit more of a bold turquoise color, but as you can see it still looks very wearable. And for the first time I'm actually using a nice highlighter that I enjoy, so make sure you stay tuned to see what I'm using here. So as always, I'm going to start with a primer. I'm going to use my Lancome La Base primer. This is the blurring one, so it really helps to fill in pores and smooth everything out. Just make sure that basically the foundation glides on top really nicely. Next, I'm actually going to show you what I bought recently. So as you can see, it's obviously from Dior. I actually went for a foundation because the entire YouTube community has been raving about it. It's the Dior SkinNude Forever foundation. The shade I got is 015 and it turned out being a really good match. But I just wanted to show you what's inside, because if you ever buy your makeup from like department stores, definitely consider ordering online, because you get, I got a nice Sauvage sample of their cologne, which Danny loves, and I also got a little mini lip maximizer. And we can all appreciate the packaging. It's just really cute, so I love that. And then I basically used my, let me just find it now. I have to double check every time which brush I use. This is the Sigma F83 curved kabuki brush. This is like my ride or die. Absolutely love this brush. And as I mentioned before, the foundation, the match was perfect. And it's a very kind of moderate to kind of lighter coverage that can be really easily built up. And I just absolutely loved it. It looked like skin. I literally had to constantly look in the mirror just to like make sure that I didn't miss anything, because it just looks so seamless. It's like too good to be true. Alright, then for concealer, I'm using the MAC Select Cover Up in the shade NC20. That's my shade in MAC Concealer. And the brush I'm using for that is actually the High Cheekbone Highlighter brush from Sigma again, the F03 brush. Oh my god, this is the best brush to blend out concealer. If you're used to kind of using your fingers to blend it out or beauty blender, this like literally makes it look airbrush. It's amazing. And then when I'm done with that, I'm actually going to use the Mercier translucent powder on the beauty blender. I love this. I bake under my eyes every time. You just make sure that everything is really nice and smooth. Next, I'm going to use the Real Techniques setting brush to kind of dust it off after a few minutes. I don't like to bake for too long. I find it looks a little bit cakey and dusty. This way I just get what I need. Unless I'm using like crazy eyeshadow, I tend to kind of dust it off before my eyeshadow after a few minutes. The reason why I'm not expecting a lot of fallout this time is basically because I'm going to use a cream base rather than powder to apply my bold color. And I was actually in between the two shades I wanted to use. These are both actually the fluid lines from MAC, which are my favorites. And I'm using the Sigma 3D HD Precision Kabuki brush for the eyes. And I actually went in with the shade Siahi from MAC. All of the products will be listed below. I can't pronounce that. And the second shade that I was thinking of, the Micro Violet from MAC, also that purple is absolutely my favorite. I had it for a long time. I keep going back to it. Absolutely love that shade. But yeah, with this one, I find you don't have to be too careful, how you apply it. Just make sure that you focus the most of the color on the center of the lid. And then, as you have less product on the brush, just kind of disperse it around. But I would definitely recommend using a more firm brush to apply this color. And one tip, apply the color last in the inner corner, because you do want to have it kind of nice and bright. And when you're working with blue eyeshadow, you need to be kind of careful with that. Alright, next I'm going to my favorite. This is MAC Soft Brown Eyeshadow, and the brush I'm using is the E39 from Sigma, which is a little bit of a denser crease brush, and I'm really using it to kind of disperse the edges of the blue around, add a little bit of a transition color. If I went with a softer brush, it just wouldn't work as well with kind of deleting those kinds of rough edges and any splotchiness that we've done before. This brush is just amazing for cleaning up the edges. Next, I'm going to use this shade, which is basically Cork from MAC, and I'm using a brush by Sigma, which is a tapered blending E35 brush. I love this one. It's a little bit more soft, but still has good density. And because the shade is a little bit darker, I'm going to kind of lower it on the crease, apply almost to the lid. Again, helps to blend out those edges and add a little bit of the depth into the crease. And I find these steps really important because it really helps to kind of take away from that, the fact that you have blue on your eyes, and really softens it out and makes it so much more wearable. Right, so for my highlighter, I was in between Yoghurt and Nylon. As you can see here, Nylon is more shimmering, Yoghurt is a little bit more matte. So I used the Sigma pencil brush, which is the E30 brush, and I applied first Yoghurt into my inner corners and kind of dispersed it almost to the inner quarter of the lid, just to add a little bit of light there. You need to be careful sometimes with blue so it doesn't make you like look tired or a little bit just, you know, bit weird or messy. So I'm kind of dispersing it into the inner corner, but then I felt like I needed a little bit of something more brightening, so I went in with Nylon literally just on the dots of the inner corner, and then I like how it looked, and I kind of started dragging it again into the inner half of the lid, and it just added a little bit of a sparkle, and it really made the whole look kind of tied together. And again, it takes away from that blue factor, you know, the blue eyeshadow that tends to be a little bit hard to wear. It just lightens it up and makes it look really nice and smoky. After that, I picked up another brush. This is the Sigma tapered blending brush, the E45, and basically all I've done is just picked up a little bit more, this time just the Yogurt shade, and really dusted it on the top of my brow bone. This just adds a little bit of light and again ties the whole look together. The reason why I like to do this before my eyebrows is just because obviously if I use the light color on my done brows, it might look a little bit messy, so I like to do my brows later. Alright, now I'm going to take another brush from Sigma, and this is the E36 brush. It's a really small, very soft brush, and I'm going back to soft brown, and I'm just going to disperse it on the lower lash line. Here, if you want, you can go a little bit more bold. You can use like waterline your eyes with like a black liner, or you can use even turquoise, or you can blend the fluid line onto your lower lash line, but I wanted to keep it quite natural. Next, I'm gonna take this primer from MAC, which is basically the false lash maximizer, and I've been really enjoying using this before my mascara, and I stopped curling my lashes because I'm trying to kind of make it a little bit healthier. But for my mascara today, I'm using my absolute favorite. This is the L'Oreal Paradise Mascara in black. Oh my god, it's the best in the world, like literally love it so much. I stopped curling my lashes, and it still helps to kind of give them a little bit of a lift. Alright, time for bronzer. I'm using my Dior SkinNude bronzer in shade number 3, and the brush I'm using is again Sigma Spotlight Duster F37 brush, and oh my god, I know it's a highlighter brush, but I love it for bronzer, and I like the shade. I've been using it for years. Again, it's just something I can't step away from because it really gives a beautiful glow and keeps it very natural and soft. But I do find that I need to go in a separate product to actually contour, which I'm using the Bobbi Brown bronzing powder in the shade medium, and for that I'm actually using the same brush because it's so tapered at the end. It really helps to kind of carve those cheekbones. As you can see here, I don't really have much definition in my face because, well, I just have a chubby face, but I find with this bronzer it really helps to kind of give a little bit more of definition. So I like applying it in my jawline and also then in, you know, on the temples and in the curves of my cheekbones, just everywhere. For my blush today, I'm actually using one of my old favorites. This is by Sigma. It's the Heavenly Powder Brush, blush, and I'm using the Angle Contour Brush. Oh my god, I love this one, F40. It's like everybody's staple. It's just the perfect kind of angled brush. So I'm dusting it on my cheeks. I wanted something a little bit more natural again to not take away from the eyes too much. Now it's time to define the brows. I'm actually using the Mercier eyebrow pencil in the shade Rich Brunette, and oh, I love this one. Again, I've been using it for months. I tend to really get stuck in a rut with my products because if I like something, I'll just be, you know, using it until I use it up and then I'll move on to something else. But I've been really enjoying this one because it really blends out really well and looks quite natural. So I'm just filling it at the edges where I actually kind of need it. I like my brows to be quite natural. I don't like them too drawn on. So I just try and keep it nice and feathery and then blend out with the spoolie at the end of the pencil. After that, I'm going to set everything in place with my Benefit Gimme Brow. Again, an oldie but a goodie. Absolutely love this. Nothing holds my brows in place as this does. Now I've decided to add a little bit of a highlighter, and this is actually from Fenty Beauty, and the shade, this is one of their match sticks, and the shade I'm using is actually Starstruck, and look what a glow this gives. I mean, I'm so picky with my highlighters. I absolutely don't like them because I find them that they emphasize texture or they look really fake. But this one, even though it looks really iridescent, it just looks so natural and soft on the skin. And I even applied it to my bridge of my nose and, you know, the cupid's bow, and it just gives such a beautiful glow. I highly recommend this. If there's one thing you should take from the line, it's definitely this one and the foundation primer. I love the foundation primer as well. Let's move on to the lips. So today I decided to use a Tom Ford lipstick, and you would think like, oh, it will look great. But as you can see from my reaction, I really did not like the shade of nude. The shade I had is Vanilla Suede, but it just looked too bad on me. So I decided to mix it with a little bit of my old favorite. This is the Kat Von D lipstick in the shade Cathedral. And I literally used just a little bit of it, kind of mixed it with the Tom Ford shade and kind of blended it around. Again, I just wanted a little bit of a gentle wash of color. And that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and like, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye!